Good morning. Good morning. I am so happy to be here. I just want to start off by saying thank you to the host team, the great writer Maya Angelou, who's known most for I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, says people will often forget what you say, so I expect you to forget some of what I say, but people will never forget how you make them feel. And I just want you to know today that you have made me feel so welcome yesterday and today. And I hope by the end of my talk, I can facilitate and make you feel, especially when I'm talking to students now, like you can change the world. I'm going to start off by telling you a little personal story for the students who are sitting in the seats, the graduate students. I was sitting in a seat just like you several decades ago, maybe 3 or 4 decades ago. And I'm an economist by training. And that time there were very few African American women economists. Actually, there were about 7 or 8 in the country. And so when I finished my degree program, I went to work for IBM. And I can tell you that my faculty gave me great training, and they were all men. I didn't have any women faculty at that time, because as I mentioned, they didn't exist. But when I went to IBM, students, I was petrified. And I was petrified not because I didn't think I was trained well, because I knew I was trained well. I knew how to take a test. But what petrified me was because everybody was different from me. When I walked into the cafeteria, and this is upstate New York where IBM headquarters was, I actually left Washington, D.C., where I was to migrate to New York City. No, it was upstate New York. I went in the cafeterias, and there were white shirts everywhere, and white men in white shirts everywhere. And I froze because I didn't understand the culture. But I will tell you what IBM got right. What they got right is that you will need different lenses with different perspectives and different people in the team to lead the world that existed then and that will exist in the future. So while you are working as individuals, one of the most important things IBM taught me was that you will have to learn how to work in teams with people who may be different from you. And so with that, even though they introduced me, I want to first introduce my team. My team is a multidisciplinary team. We have scientists, engineers, business people on the team, because in the world that we are living in, we need everybody to solve the complex problems that one individual alone can't solve. And so on the team is Professor Kasato. She's from Kenyatta University in Kenya. On the team is Professor Crump. He's our lead entrepreneurship faculty in the School of Business. On the team is Angela Reed. She's a scientist in chemistry. She's also our chair of environmental science. On the team is Professor Asidato. He's a PhD physicist from many years. In fact, we congratulated him. He's just produced 2 or 3 other physicists that successfully defended their dissertation within the last couple of weeks. And finally on the team is a practitioner, a banker, by the name of Dia Rock. She has sponsored a lot of our work at Customers Bank, and she has helped us in some of our research. So there you have the team that has helped put this work together that I'm going to present to you. I'm going to ask one of the students, would you please time me? They told me I had 10 minutes, 20 minutes, give me 15 minutes, give me a 10-minute warning, a 5-minute warning, and a 2-minute warning, because I don't want to go over. You know what? I can go over, and that's why I said, please time me, because I want to respect the time. I'll say, what I'm going to talk about is trends in leadership, the skills that you're going to need in business, preparing in the upscale economy, global income disparities, and I'm just going to talk about that a little bit. Much of the body of our work is on income disparities, and I just want to mention it to you, and we believe technology and entrepreneurship can change that. How AI, you heard a little bit from the dean about how AI and big data are transforming business, how science is creating new businesses and collaborations, trends in nanotechnology, trends in capital and impact investments, and I'll tell you why that's important, and developing ecosystems and global collaborations in teams. That's a lot to do in the time I have, so I'm going to be fast. But what I also promise you is that I'm around for a couple of days, and if there's something I miss, you feel free to come up to me and I'll explain it. If we don't have time the next 2 days, I'll give you a business card and you can come and see me. Okay, well, talk to me. All right, this study was done by Deloitte Consulting, and they released a report in the last quarter of last year. And so if you want to see the report, you can just Google Deloitte Consulting, the Future of Work report. That's where this information is coming from. And what they said was the leading skills that are going to be required by leaders is understanding complexity. The world is very complex, has been, and understanding ambiguity. So in business school, how do we train you to understand more complexity and more ambiguity? They also say that it's coming in the future. The command and control is not going to work. You have to be able to influence resources that you don't have control over, to have those skills. They also said that it's important to be able to work in remote environments. Now, why is that important? Most of the labor population explosion is in China, is in Africa. And where else do you think the population explosion is? Students, tell me. Tell me. Oh, come on, talk to me. Did I hear it? India. Yes, that's where the population explosion. So, in Silicon Valley and Silicon Alley and all of those other places where they have a lot of opportunity and a lot of growth in businesses, they are looking where the population is going to be, and much of the population is not there. So it's going to be important to be able to create teams that are around the world. Okay? So let me move quickly. What is driving the need for change is that technology is changing so fast. So much of the technology is changing so fast that we need new leaders to be able to change with the technology. Okay, I'm gonna keep moving. Now what I am excited about is the unscaled economy. And the unscaled economy of the future includes a broad base of talent using technology such as AI, you've heard AI, cloud computing, 3D printing, virtual reality, and you name it. The technology in the future, some of which we don't even know. Instead of cloning homogeneous labor forces to support the demands of mass production, more diverse, creative, and agile entrepreneurial teams, remember I started the presentation talking about teams, or persons will cost effectively produce the niche markets even as small as units of one. So let me give you a specific example. In New York City, where fashion is king, we are now looking at entrepreneurs and innovators being able to produce, not courtier fashion, but fashion for as small as one person, online, virtual, at a cost-effective price point. They now have some patents pending for this technology. So instead of buying off the rack, you can order something specifically made for you online at a cost-effective price. Okay, so modes of teaching and learning. You know what formal education is. Most of you have gone through the formal education system. What I want to talk a little bit about is self-directed learning and some of what the industry is looking at, certifications and shorter period times in the learning process, and some of what the students are looking at. Students who don't want to be 4 and 5 years in the program, but want the learning in a 1 year or shorter time segment so that they can develop the innovations and technologies they need to get to market faster. And I want to give you an example of this. A young man named Scott Young, who actually had his degree and he wanted to become a computer scientist. He looked at the program at MIT. MIT took all of the courses online because what they say is it is not the curriculum itself that differentiates them. It is the world-class faculty behind the curriculum. And so you can go online and find many of their courses. Scott did that, but he didn't want to pay the price, and he didn't want to take the time. If you can, I would let Scott tell you exactly what he did. If we can go to the link now. Can we go to the link? I think it's more interesting that he says, I need voice, and I need you to go back to the beginning.
MIT's 4-year computer science curriculum in 12 months without taking any classes or even being enrolled at MIT. So today I want to talk about how you can learn something.
Cut it. So the point I want you to get from here is this young man directed himself through 4 years. Well, we take 4 years. In 1 year, he passed all the exams. He was able to do the applications he wanted because he wanted it faster than we could deliver. And I'm saying that that is more of the future to come. Can you get me back to the...
How do you understand the subject?
No,
when you start reading...